Traps in tabletop RPGs are one of the easiest ways I've seen to curb problem players, but I never hear anyone use them to their full extent. This is what I mean. My little brother, I taught him how to play D&D and his friends. I was their first ever DM when they were all 15. They loved it. They would come to me about advice all through my life, but they one time came to me and said, "Hey, would you play a game for us? We haven't run for a while." I'm like, "Yeah, fine." And they're like, "Well, I want to also talk to you about one of the players that'll be playing with us. He never wants to roleplay. He tries to fight every NPC, and we can't ever do anything with him story-wise because of that." I'm like, "Okay, I got it. Don't worry." Because when you're dealing with a player like that, the worst thing you can do is feed into that. You got to put them in situations where they got to think their way out of things. So I designed a dungeon that looked really straightforward in how they approach it. The thing was booby-trapped to heck and back, and there was only one enemy actually inside of it, all hidden behind a big Home Alone house. So this guy, 15-year-old OC, Shadow the Barbarian, whatever he was just like, "I'm going to charge straight through that door," and he charges up to the door, and I'm like, "Okay, make me a dex save." And he's like, "Wait, what do you mean?" I'm like, "You didn't check for traps, roll for dex save." He falls into a pit, and then he gets angry. He's like, "All right, I get out of the pit." I'm like, "How do you get out of the pit?" And he's like, "I just get out of the pit." I'm like, no, come on, think about it. How do you get out of the pit? Look at your skills. And put him in that situation where they have to think, what can I do that isn't fighting my way out of the situation? And it won't always work. He tried to bull rush a lot of things in that session. It ended up being he barely had any health left by the time they actually got to the fight. And I was hoping that'd be a learning experience for him. And in a way, I think it was. But at the very least, my brother and his friends had the time of their lives watching how frustrated he was getting. I'm not saying you bully players with it, but if you do it the right way, it can be a constructive way, because he was actually thinking about his actions by the end of it, or at least like trying to ask around and see, okay, what can I do? So I think there was a takeaway from it.